Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm just about to go outside and water my garden. I do have something exciting I want to show you guys that's outside. Today I'm just really planning on doing like what I'm gonna be planting in the garden of 2023 and kind of my garden plans or the layout plans of my garden. So let's go head outside and water my garden, and I also want to show you a really exciting thing that just popped up. All right, so we are now outside. Now, if you're new to my channel or if you've been here for a while, you may or may not know that I mainly do voiceovers for outside videos just because of the extremely loud road that we have behind us. And it's really hard to talk over all of the cars, especially the cars that have really loud exhausts. And then there's a lot of truck drivers and semi-truck drivers too. And so those are really hard to talk over. But here I'm just kind of watering my all my hostas and my elephant ears. They're doing really well. They've done amazing over the entire summer, and they're still doing really amazing. And I'm really excited about that. I also had a new, I think it's a hosta. It bloomed right at, if you can see it, it's right at the beginning of when I started watering this little bed. I'm not really sure if it's a hosta or an elephant ear, but those, I have so many in here, and I am anticipating them getting so much bigger. And now we're just walking over to my garden beds, and in these containers, if you can remember, this is where I planted my garlic, and they're actually starting to sprout up, and I'm super excited. It really didn't take them long. It only took maybe 2 weeks for them to start showing through the dirt. And so I'm really excited that the dirt isn't affecting the growth of these just yet. I kind of want to bite my tongue though, because I don't want to talk too soon and have them not grow at all. It's kind of like what happened with these. These did really good. In all of these containers, I have carrots, Brussels sprouts, onions, and what else? Peas. Yeah, that's right. Oh, so they did a really good job sprouting up. It's just maybe over the last month, they kind of have started to die back a little bit, especially the peas, and all the other ones aren't really showing too much progress and growth. So I'm a little bummed about that. And then this is kind of like my little setup, and I want to redo this setup for next planting season. I don't really like the cinder block idea. It isn't very efficient. I do have a lot of space, and this is mainly where I want to put the grow boxes. I just want to do 4x4 wood type. I'm not really sure, but that kind of raised garden bed. And as you can see, I have rocks in every single hole filled all the way up from the ground. So that's going to be a fun project to work on. And then over in that second garden bed are the things that I want to try and transport and save, like this pepper plant. And then I also have these raspberry plants that I did not grow. I think the previous owners did. I just wanted to keep them alive to see if they did anything. I've got my marigold seeds that I want to harvest the seed. And then I have some green tea. And then we're just gonna chat about my next year's plan for the garden. So mainly what I plan on doing with my garden next year is, well, hopefully before next spring, I'm able to get all of the cinder blocks out and up. I'm not really sure where I'm gonna put all those cinder blocks because there is a lot of them. And the thing that I kind of made more work for myself this year for next planting season is putting or filling the holes in the cinder blocks with rocks. It's probably filled, I would say, 3 feet full of rocks. And there's probably a mix of big rocks in there too, filling a lot of space, and smaller rocks as well. But I think that's gonna be the biggest part of the project, is trying to take out all those rocks out of the holes. And I really don't know where I'm gonna put all the rocks as well, and all of the dirt that's also in there. I have no idea. I might just use the dirt for around it, so I can put down some straw or hay or something like that around my garden beds, so it doesn't need to get mowed. I can also use a lot of that dirt in the garden beds themselves. I don't know where I'm gonna put it all. I don't want to just pile it on the grass, but I'm probably going to have to do that. And then I also have to try and dig up the plants that I am going to keep. I think I'm gonna try and keep my strawberry plant, raspberry plant, maybe, and my pepper plant in there. I want to keep those. So as far as planting things, I've heard so many gardeners say this, and they say, plant what you are going to eat. Don't plant something that you're not going to eat. If you're not a huge fan of broccoli, do not plant broccoli. If you don't regularly use broccoli in your cooking recipes, don't bother planting broccoli. So that's what I'm trying to keep in mind as far as planting goes for the next gardening season. My plans for what I'm going to be planting is probably going to be broccoli. I'm not really too familiar on the different varieties of any vegetables that I'm going to plant or that I'm more fond of over the other. That's gonna be more of a project during this winter, is finding out or figuring out the basic vegetables, the vegetables that I want to garden and want to plant. And then within those vegetables, what varieties do I want to grow? Do I want to grow just generic varieties, or do I want to get fancy with it? As of right now, I'm not super interested in getting too fancy with varieties. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. But I do want to plant broccoli. I got garden in the ground. That was definitely on my list. Onions are in my little fall garden containers, but as you can see, they're not really doing the best. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's just been too hot this fall so far, or if I haven't been watering enough, or I've been watering too much. I really thought my peas were off. My peas were off to a good start, but up until a few weeks ago, they really just kind of started to die back, and none of my veggies that I planted in there are growing or getting any bigger. So that's kind of a little worrisome, but I guess we'll just have to see. A few days before our first frost date, which I can't remember exactly when it is. It is sometime either in the middle of November or the end of November. So a few days before our frost date, I want to dig those up and see how they're doing. The bad thing about root vegetables that I'm kind of figuring out is you can't really see their progress. So even though they may look amazing and healthy, down under the dirt, they may be really small or deformed. You just don't know until they are ready to harvest. So that's kind of where I'm at with those. I'm definitely going to try again next fall or end of summer to plant those vegetables. I think I have onions, Brussels sprouts, not garlic, carrots, onions, carrots, and peas. So I have the 4: onions, onions, Brussels sprouts, carrots, and peas. So those are the 4 that I have. I think one of my mistakes, and I kind of knew about this when I planted my garlic, although it is a little contradicting. Well, I was gonna say I planted everything with the same dirt in the containers. I think I actually used the same dirt for the top of my garden beds as well. But on the bag, when I was planting the garlic, I noticed that the bag of dirt said not for container gardening. It doesn't explain why, but my guess is because it possibly could just be a very dense soil with not that great of drainage. But I'm not exactly sure why. It's not a really good dirt to use for container gardening. But that is exactly what I used it for. I didn't feel like returning the dirt or using it for something else. I just wanted to use it and get it over with, see if it worked. If it does, cool. If it doesn't, now I know what dirt not to use for next year. I'm not exactly sure how I feel about container gardening anymore. I think I've gotten a little discouraged, but it could also be from my mistakes, or it could also not be my fault. It could be the weather. Just don't know. That's the thing about gardening, is sometimes you don't exactly know, and you can't let that discourage you from trying again. And even if you are the best gardener and you have the worst year in carrots, it just happens, and you can't let that discourage you from growing what you want to grow. So I'm gonna try and not let that discourage me, even though it is a little hard. Things happen, weather happens, critters happen, pests happen. It just happens. So to continue with what I plan on planting next year, I did say broccoli. I want to try all those 4 fall garden vegetables again next year, but I actually want to try them in the ground this time. I don't really want to try it in containers. I want to see if they'll do better in the ground. I think I want to try and grow some sort of lettuce. I'm not really sure yet. I know I want to try and maybe do romaine lettuce and possibly a lettuce that my bearded dragon will be able to eat as well, because that would be pretty awesome to be able to grow lettuce for my bearded dragon. Oh, what else? I kind of made a list on Pinterest of the things that I wanted to grow next year, but I forgot which ones I was planning on growing. broccoli, lettuce. What else? Oh, potatoes. I really, really want to try and grow potatoes. I think that would be really fun. I want to probably try and grow regular and sweet potatoes, because I think that would be really fun. A lot of these flowers are not dry yet, and I did try it last time where I pulled these seeds out of the flower and then let them sit out and dry kind of on their own, but they still didn't really look right. They looked very discolored, and I have so many of these marigold seeds that it's not really that big of a deal if I lose this much, because I did end up getting a lot this year. I think that's basically it. I also want to research into getting chickens, because I really, really, really want to get chickens next year. Every day I'm cooking, I think about, man, this would be amazing if I had chickens. I'm a little intrigued by composting, but I have yet to do it and try it. It's just, I don't know if it's gonna be for me, but the thought of having chickens and throwing my vegetables and my fruit scraps and my food scraps to the chickens, to a live animal that in turn is benefiting us, just is amazing. So I'm gonna probably try and look into that. I have to plan where to put them, plan a little chicken coop for them, and all that fun stuff. So we will see on the chickens. I'm not really sure if I'm ready yet, mainly because I eventually, hopefully my plan is to move out of state eventually. I want to get out of the Pacific Northwest, at least for now, for a couple years, because I've been here my whole entire life and I just want to experience somewhere else and get to experience a different state and a different environment, a different climate, because it is, I don't know, I want to be able to experience that. But with that being said, getting chickens before moving to a different state might not be the best idea, but then again, why wait? Why, have that stop me from getting something that I really, really want? And yeah. And it's kind of one of those things to where, why worry about that now? We will cross that bridge when we get there, kind of thing, That'll be a worry for a different day. I will continue to plan my summer garden for 2023, and I will also make a video soon about taking or redoing the whole garden bed situation and taking out all those cinder blocks and doing that whole project. So that'll be fun. And honestly, today was a really, really good day to do it. So I might even go out there today and start on that. The thing about it though is I am absolutely terrified of spiders, and I know there is going to be so many spiders in those holes because I can see spider webs. And the wheelbarrow, which is required for the rocks because I don't want to have to carry all those rocks all the way back to where they were before, which is across my yard. There's a bunch of spiders and spider webs in the shed, in the pathway to getting the wheelbarrow. So I might just have to put on my big girl pants and just go in there and get the wheelbarrow so I can start on this project. All right. Well, that is all I have for today's video. I hope you guys enjoy. I'm really excited because the end of this week is the convention, so the video for that will be coming out next week, I hope. So that'll be a fun video to do and just, yeah, to post. It'll be fun. All right, guys, well, I'll see you later. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and do not forget to start planning those spring gardens for next year.